Well, I'm going to get the saw out this morning and we're going to cut it here, cut some paving. My head's gone completely this morning. We're going to cut some paving here this morning, some porcelain, and simply because it's not worth taking the saw down, loading it up, taking it to site, unloading it, where we can cut these. It's only 10 cuts, I think it is, so let's get it done. Oh, there's cloud in the sky, but it's a beautiful working day. Well, here we are. Got the saw out, and it's a good day. It's the sun's not out. There's a bit of cloud. I don't think it's going to rain today by the forecast, and if it does, it isn't going to matter so much because we're going to be using some rapid adhesive for those coping stones. We've got to cut some coping stones up, and those coping stones are going to be cut from a 600 by 600, so we'll be able to show you that, and then obviously as well we'll put the capillary groove on it as well with that little fluting wheel that I spoke the other day about. So we have a 110 transformer box here. It's so important with these. Apparently I've seen Roger Bisbee talking about this the other day, and not that I didn't know, but I think he made a valid point that these are only meant to be used intermittently, and that means every now and again you just got to turn them off. He suggested you use them 5 minutes solid. No good filming, is it, when you're trying to do this? 5 minutes solid and then off for 15 minutes, and he said we don't do it. And the other thing he said, obviously, bake the earth in. I'm not quite sure how the earthing works. You've got to earth it yourself, because it's earth obviously from this side 240, and then when it goes to the 110, you mentioned about the earth now. I'm not quite sure how that works, so I'm a bit confused about that. Tell me if I'm a bit of a dummy if I don't understand that. And the other thing, of course, he said keep it off the ground because these get hot as well. It's almost like a heating element in that copper, that cores the copper underneath. It's a bit early, it's 9 o'clock, but it's that Friday feeling. Lee, would you like a piece of lemon cheesecake?
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna have one now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, then we're gonna fight over the third piece.
You can have that.
Lee.
Yeah?
You're eating the cheesecake. You cut these are 600 by 600, like an anthracite colour. How was that blade cutting with that? How was it going through?
Smoothly.
Yeah. Do you think in comparison to, not that you can use some disc cutters on it as long as you use the right blades, like, you know, but do you feel this is more of a benefit because you're upright and
definitely
not bent over, are you?
Well, lifesaver, don't they?
Yeah, because of the dust. But there's more control as well with this, isn't there?
More control, like you said, less on your back.
Yeah. Yeah, and be able to mark it in this position, like here. Like, I'm just like.
These are good as well.
Yeah, you mark off like the distances as well, like, you know. Yeah. Thank you for that, Lee.
It's okay.
Right, Lee.
Yeah, John.
There you go. We had a good day yesterday. We got that video up yesterday, and there was things that weren't quite right. Okay. But does it really matter? Not really, does it? I got somebody keeping on a bit the pixels. Are they small people or something? Oh, pixies they are. No. Pixels. No, pixels is the quality. No, I actually appreciate people saying about that. You had the finger in the way on the lens at one time, but Joe, we've tried this phone, compared it to the Canon 80D, which cost about £1,700, I think it was. Oh, that camera doesn't go over now. And the fact is that this camera was better. But because this camera's old, I think sometimes it's a bit intermittent. Next clip. Okay, next clip. Lee, I've been looking at like the economy at the moment, and the economy is basically is affected by so much going on at the moment. First of all, what's happened with the economy was that shipping containers, because of the growth in the Chinese market and some of these other countries, they are taking up the amount of shipping containers. They're using them. Yeah, absolutely. And so they're getting the product in because their economy's growing at an exponential rate. It'll slow down at some point. For all economies, it has peaks and troughs. But what's happening in this country, as a result of those containers, the prices have gone through the roof. And I know there's a couple of companies like Aspects that have had to pay a fortune. I mean, it's gone up tenfold Oh, he's out. It's
Yeah,
it's gone up tenfold on shipping containers. Literally, like I can't quote, but it's gone up ridiculous amounts. And as a result of that, product is gone up. The cost of materials is gone through the roof. Take two. So so the other thing I was so I've just realised we were talking about the economy and what have you, but Lee has actually got me a fork now.
Okay.
That sounded so rude that you give me a fork. I didn't mean to say that. So there we are. This is a fork. This is a few years old, I bet, isn't it? But this is better than the other one that I was using. The old. I got to say, I'm not being horrible. I'm not being nasty and talking down. But the Stokes one, Stokes and something it's called. It just best, you know. And I had had it long. Look how old that is. That's old steel. You wouldn't get the steel. So this is more like Mars steel, I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. But more like Mars steel, where some of the other forks that you have now, the new ones, it's like cast, isn't it? And they break really easy. This is what you want. I tell you what. If I've ever had a good fork, it's this fork. So Lee, it's that Friday feeling, all right? That Friday feeling where
Friday 13th.
it's not.
It is.
Get lost.
Today.
Jesus Christ, I better pay him and he'll kick off. Is it Friday the 13th?
It is, yeah.
Oh, cheers. So anyway, I was talking about the economy and that sort of stuff. The other thing, of course, is that in the world of the economy, they have this thing called price fixing. You're not meant to price fix, okay? So, like for example, the likes of Tesco, Sainsbury's, Waitrose, all of them, right? Asda as well. So, amongst all of them, they can't get together and say we're going to keep the prices on custard, for example. All right? Somebody else said that this week. Or biscuits, and McVitie's, we're going to keep them at this because they're buying off manufacturers. We'll all agree that we're within this percentage, and they set up prices. That's illegal in price fixing. But the thing and I love somebody to explain to me, and maybe somebody from the manufacturers and suppliers can tell me, that is totally illegal. But the fact is, Lee, that some of the independents out there and some of the merchants that sell paving products and landscape products, they are in things called buying groups. All right, so they have these conventions and everybody turns up and they have a meeting, and basically it's just one, they go for a drink basically, and they talk about things, but these prices are already agreed before they get there. But what they do is they get there and they're in buying groups and they all buy at a certain price, okay, and they also sell it at a certain price. It's the retailer that buys it, and we're the retailers, the landscapers are the retailers, the consumer are the retailers, and they set prices. There's no ifs or buts about it. They set prices. And the other thing they're actually doing at the moment, Lee, is that I bought some slate paving the other day, Brazilian slate. It was 900 by 600, and I'm sure they think that some of the consumer that buy their products, the contractors, they must think they're numpties, because we're not. Well, I'm not. No, seriously, right? What they do is, so the other day I bought some slate. It was 900 by 600, and our customer actually bought it for one unit, 900 by 600, 3 cm. It was £23. All right. Then they said that it's gone up, right, because of inflation. Inflation's going through the roof. £40 from 23 to £40. That's an absolutely ridiculous jump. And the other thing, Lee, about that. Yeah, massively over. So it's like doubling, like, you know, it's like 90%, like, or 85%, or whatever it is. Well, I told you I'm not good at maths, but the fact is, yeah, you are right. It's doubling, so it's gone through the roof, and that is ridiculous in itself. Maybe they can justify that, but what they can't justify is selling old stock at new prices. So some of the stuff they have in stock now, they tell the price go up, and they're still getting rid of the old stock. That's an excuse, and I think that's totally wrong. It shouldn't happen, and. I suppose what we do is, as contractors and consumers of these products, what do we do to actually ensure that we get a good price? Have we got any power?
You try and speak to the suppliers and speak to them and see what's ahead and see if we
Yeah. Yeah, to see if there's any benefits. But the thing is, the fact is, if you don't pose that question to your local merchants or the people that you're buying off, You know, if you say, well, I'm going to get all my paving off you this year, can you keep it at that price? You know, and you know, then they've got that regular resale of product on a regular basis. So, you know, I don't know, it's a bit of a funny one, but we need to ask that question. We need to go back. If we show our loyalty to these merchants, they need to sort of consider that. The other thing, of course, is like, it's not just on paving, it's on wood, it's on composite, you know. And the other thing, when we think about it, when we think about some composite products, right, some composite products are actually made in the UK, all right, but they'll tell you, okay, because they think we're stupid again, that they'll say these products come from abroad, shipping containers have gone up, but they're made here in the UK. So you're telling porky sometimes, it's fun though, isn't it? Like sort of exposing people. Is it the truth? I don't know. What do you think about it? Do you think it's the truth? Do you think it's partly true? Yeah, there's something in it, what we're actually saying this morning.
It's supply and demand, isn't it? As soon as there's a need for it, that's what you buy.
Yeah, absolutely. But what they got to remember is that when these tough times are over and they haven't looked after their customer base, their client base very well, it's going to come back and bite them on the arse, isn't it?
You need to look after it.
The other thing, Lee, I've actually seen out there, what's happening at the moment is that you see a lot of contractors actually buying their own porcelain. They're buy-off agents and they buy their own porcelain because they simply lay a huge amount of porcelain at you. So you'll see some of these young lads, and I've seen it, one lad in Romford, there's another lad up in Manchester, they've opened their own yards, only young lads, okay, and I take my hat off to them, and they're actually selling porcelain themselves. And if they're using themselves, if they got 2 or 3 teams, it just makes sense, hope my camera doesn't blow over, it makes sense to sell it themselves. So, and that's what the industry is doing, it's forcing people to take action, isn't it? It's forcing people to take action. If you've got any thoughts on this, I'd like your feedback. You know, there's a lot to be said. This channel is about promoting good dialogue. Oh, I forgot to do the subscribe. If you're enjoying this channel as much as Lee and I are, and a few others, don't forget to hit the notification button and subscribe. Should we get on then? Barry's waiting as well. So what Lee's doing this morning, we're cutting some porcelain into 600 by 300. And Lee, when we're cutting this, you're just going straight through in one go for just to mark it. Yeah. And then you're dropping down on both sides to take the tension out of the porcelain, yeah, out of the unit itself. And then so once you drop it down both sides, the likelihood then it's not going to snap off on this side or that side, taking a big chunk out, is it? And then you'll drop down on this side, and then you'll go down nice and parallel, nice and even. Could you go through at one go? It's dodgy, isn't it?
You can, but
it could,
sometimes
the tension in the middle as well. Yeah, so thank you, Lee. I know you're going. No, seriously. Hey, Lee, we're having a bit of a laugh day. It's Friday, isn't it? Got that Friday feeling. Do you know one thing, Lee, I never ever want to do? Because it's not... I'm not cocky, am I?
No.
Look at his face. No, just having a bit of fun, innit? Like, you know. Look, the thing I wanted to sort of also say, we've got that Friday feeling, it's about sharing all those topics of conversation, is that at the moment, is that people keep using this word COVID-19 landscapers, like, right? But you know, we have had an influx of COVID-19 landscapers, okay, and COVID-19 contractors in the industry, and to be honest, I think some of them are better than the ones that are actually in it now, and they are, because some of them, it's something that they want to do on a regular basis, and they're not doing it on a regular basis because they're probably doing another job, and the reason they're not going into the landscaping industry or the building ago, we did a job for a guy called Mark Drayton. Mark's retired now, lovely guy. He was a surgeon in the Heath Hospital in Cardiff, and his joinery skills, right, because he liked woodwork, but his joinery, I'm not talking carpentry, his joinery skills were second to none. And you know, could you turn the work out fast like other people, like, you know, but he was good. We can't knock these people for doing things. But the other thing, of course, is that what's happened in this country now, because over the years we slowly headed in a direction where we think that for a lot of people that working outdoors, doing manual labour, doing a skilled trade is below some people for some reason. But believe you me, the industry that we're in, okay, skilled tradesman, right, a tradesman is as good at his profession, well, he should be in general, is just as good as anybody else as a professional. A doctor, a barrister, they're good at what they do, okay, and they need to be sort of, you know, valued in that way. Do you think so? Yeah, just because somebody's a barrister doesn't mean to say that they have more value than somebody, maybe financial value, but if you're good at doing what you're doing as a bricklayer, a carpenter, a joiner, a plumber, electrician, if you're really good at what you're doing, you are worth your weight in gold, and you've got to recognise that. And as Forrest Gump says, that's all I have to say on there. Well, here we are this morning. So a little bit closer, you can see the finish on that. It's not bad. There's an odd little divot in there, but a good sponge finish. It's not hollow in places. It's stuck nicely. And now we got to put the coping stone on the top. Some people are saying, why didn't we put it on there first? Well, we could, because we want to get on with the rendering. That's the right thing. Look at that now. That's what I need to repair. We're at that time again where Barry, look at that. Look at that egg. No. Ow. I didn't eat it, I just filmed it, honest. Well, there you are, that's the back of the van. Lee's loaded out. All the tools are lovely and clean. Cleaned up absolutely spotless. And Lee can get underway, and I can sort that out while I'm having a cold beer tonight.